It's me, Ari Dossett. When it comes to dark pages in human history, whether it's genocides, massacres, or political scandals, or religious persecution, whenever it comes to atrocities, there is one question later generations often ask, and it's the right question to ask. But it's also a controversial question. It's a question that makes many feel embarrassed. And the question is, why didn't anyone stop? Let me explain the question. Why didn't anyone stop? There was this experiment done. It was just an experiment, wasn't anything real. Yet some test subjects that were brought in. And they simulated some medical experiment in which you had another individual connect to an electric wire. Now, the test subject was said they have to push a button. But every time they push the button, allegedly, the other individual with the electric wire would get a shock. Now, this wasn't real, but the perception of the test subject was that it was a real thing. And the instructor kept telling them to increase the voltage. At some point, the individual simulated as if they were screaming, as if they were, that they were in deep pain. Now, you would think that the test subject would say, hold on a minute, why are we doing this? Why are we pushing this button causing an individual to get an electric shock? And why is its instructor telling us to continue? What the heck is this? Okay, then there was another experiment done. I'm not sure if it's called the Stanford prison experiment, but anyway, there was this experiment done in which they picked up random people from the streets. Some of them they gave a prisoner's uniform, and other ones they gave a guard's uniform. And they simulated those with a guard uniform playing security guards and prison guards, and the other ones playing the role of, well, being prisoners. After a little while, those people who wore the uniforms that simulated prison guards, they kind of lost themselves in the role, actually began to abuse the other people, so they had to stop the experiments because they got out of hand. Now, those are two experiments, and there are more of such experiments done. What does this reveal about human beings in general? Human beings tend to appeal to authority. If something or someone, especially if it's someone, is perceived as an authority, they tend to shut down their own intuition and get along. And to some extent, it's understandable. If you're at work and the supervisor has more experience than you are more willing to get along with their judgment of how they see things because of their experience. And why wouldn't you? Unless supervisor tells you to do something that goes against the company's policy or goes against the law, now you think, I need to watch out with this. What I'm saying is that by the time many people realize something's off, it's way too late already. Why is that? Because most people do not pay attention to their intuition. They don't. If most people on the earth paid attention to their intuition, we wouldn't have books of atrocities committed in human history. The fact that atrocities remain a norm in human history, which includes today because history is playing out right now, shows you that most people just comply when they're told to. Now, I'm not saying everyone does this, but most people do. If that were not the case, human history would be quite different for what it is now. Why didn't anyone stop? Look, A lot of people say, if I was alive in Europe during the Nazi occupation, I would have joined the resistance. I would have fought those Nazis. That's how they speak as people who've never been through that as such a thing, and as people who can reflect back in history and realize, whoa, what type of mess up thing was this? But those same type of people, if you would ask them why they get along with certain expectations in society, they can't tell you why. Truth being told, a lot of people would have likely joined the Nazis back then. Because from their perception, the Nazis were the authorities. Look, I'm not saying that all human beings are mindless zombies who just follow orders without questioning. That's not what I'm saying here. I'm pointing out that often the public collaborates with evil because they don't pay attention to their intuition. But I'm going to say it differently. They don't examine what goes on. When your intuition alarms you about someone or a situation, you don't know what's going on. You don't. It's just an alarm going off. The same way, if you have a smoke detector or a smoke alarm in your house and a smoke alarm goes off with this intense, annoying sound, you don't say, man, I want to keep sleeping, man, leave me alone. Because you can't sleep because the sound is so annoying. It's so sharp. The sound is so sharp to wake you up. Now, when the smoke alarm goes off, do you know where the smoke is coming from? No. Now you need to look through the house. Where's smoke coming from? Well, the same it is with your intuition. When your intuition alarms you about something or someone, that does not mean you automatically know what goes on. You don't. Now you need to investigate. Now you need to look into things. And here's where it goes wrong. A lot of people, when the intuition sounds alarm, they brush it off. They don't want to go into it. They want to be left alone. And by doing that, they're sabotaging their own long-term well-being. And with that, they're also sabotaging the long-term well-being of other people. I mean, let's say you're in a building and the fire alarm goes off, but you think, nah, I don't really want to go out. I'm sorry, but when the firefighters come and drag you out, you're in trouble. Because everyone's going to ask, why do you stay in a building when the fire alarm went off? Even if it was false alarm, you should get out. Or let's say now there's no fire alarm, but you smell like something's burning. If you smell smoke like something's burning, you should tell everyone. You should tell people around you, hey guys, did you guys smell that too? Like something's burning? You should hint to them that there's a sensation like something's burning. Maybe the fire alarm didn't go off, or maybe the fire alarm is not working, but you sense that something is burning. Maybe it's something small, like there's a pan on a stove that has been on the stove for too long. Or maybe someone is smoking outside, and the smoke came in. Whatever it is, you mention it. What if you sense sensation of smoke and you don't say anything, and later the building burns down, some people die in it? You could be held liable and go to prison for involuntary manslaughter. You didn't intend to kill anyone, but your neglect caused people to die. I'm not sure that it's called involuntary manslaughter in every jurisdiction, but anyway, such neglect can get you in prison. But let me tell you, such neglect is common in the human species, unfortunately. If everyone would just pay attention to intuition and take a step back and examine things, most of the violence on the earth would cease. The reason why most of the violence on the earth continues is because the public collaborates. If people would see a child with blue spots, so that's proof the child is being abused, if everyone who sees a child would immediately call the authorities and they would immediately put consequence on the parents, like fire them from their jobs or put them on a blacklist, whatever, if they would do that consistently, Either some people will not have children because they'll think, hey, if I have children, I misbehave, I'm in trouble. And those who have children will be restrained. Now, that will not guarantee that every child will have a happy childhood, but at least, there would be effort from the community to preserve the well-being of the children, and with that, the well-being of the future of the community, because the children are the future of the community. But unfortunately, it happens that people notice things, but they keep quiet because they don't want to get involved, or they say it's not my business, or they say, well, the police will take care of it. They do not take their collective responsibility seriously. They just want to be left alone. And this neglectful attitude is why evil remains on the earth. Stop saying evil is on the earth because of Satan. Now, Satan triggered evil on the earth, absolutely. And demons are involved in keeping evil on the earth. But it's the human species that collaborates with the evil spirits. So why are we collaborating? That's the question to ask yourself. Why are we collaborating? Well, the answer is we collaborate because we want to escape. We want to be left alone. I say we to generalize as a human species. We want to be left alone. We want to be relieved. We want to escape. That's the reason. Now, there are human beings who are different. There are human beings really looking for solutions. If you're one of them, I'm happy you are. But not everyone is like you. Not everyone's looking for solutions. So understand this. No evil and no violence can remain anywhere unless the public collaborates with it. So if you've been the victim of an atrocity, or if you are suffering the consequences of some type of neglect or abuse you've been through, don't just look at the individual perpetrator, be obsessed with catching the bad guy. Also, don't indulge in blaming them for how your life turned out. Listen, what happened, happened. You can't change the past, but neither can the perpetrators undo what they've done unto you. That's not to make you feel sorry for them. It's to reveal unto you that forgiveness is for you to move on. Look, it's not just a perpetrator you need to that was involved. The community collaborated. Why did people collaborate? Why didn't anyone intervene? Look, it's as simple as this. People comply with evil until evil hurts them. Does this count for absolutely every individual out there? No. But unfortunately, it's the false thing that you can see in human history. And you can also see today. People comply with evil until evil hurts them. It's only when the evil hurts them on an individual level that suddenly they realize, oh, I need to stop doing this, or this is wrong. A lot of people make excuses for collaborating with negativity. Until it backfires, suddenly now it's a big problem. So someone, for example, can be completely fine joining to dislike someone or to hate on someone. But then the same thing happens to one of their siblings or to a relative of theirs, and now it affects them too. And now they see, oh, this is the wrong thing to do, just hating on someone. But they were okay with it happening to other people. They made excuses for it. Well, that is the selfish, or you can say narcissistic tendency in many human beings. It's only a problem when it happens to them and they are hindered in their escape. As long as their escape is not challenged, they're fine with it. Or they may not approve of it, but it's not an actual issue unless their ease is disrupted. Throughout human history, you see it. Injustice only ends when the collaborators, or that means the public, is losing. If the public is not losing, if the public is not going, let me say, if the public is not becoming worse off, then no change will happen. So if for example, if there is slavery going on, as long as the public can benefit from the injustice, it's very unlikely that slavery will end. But when there are slave revolts, and the slave revolts also leads to disruption in the economy and also disruption in the personal lives of the public, and when the embarrassment comes too big, oh, now there's incentive to stop slavery. Or it can be that someone went to prison for a crime he did not commit. And 10 years later, or 20 years later, DNA reveals he is innocent. But apart from DNA, there were more things in that case that didn't add up. But the public did not want to hear that someone was wrongly convicted. Neither did the court want to admit it because this is embarrassment. But because there was enough pressure from the journalist that embarrassed everyone, now the public is worse off if they hold on to the conviction. So now they had to re-examine the case, and they found, and it was discovered and proved this guy is innocent, had to be released from prison. Some people almost got the death penalty, and it was proven at the last moment they were innocent. So how many people did get a death penalty and they were innocent? I don't support the death penalty, by the way. What I'm saying is that injustice only ends when the public is worse off with the injustice. As long as the public can utilize or benefit or deny injustice, it will not end. And that is not being cynical, that's being realistic how things go. So, as a believer, walk by faith, operate in power, and don't be unequally yoked with the world. Be at peace.